Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a tier 10 game in my Jutland, and this is going to be the rank commentary for this ship. Going over the matchmaking, looking at Worcester, Salem, Cleveland, rounding out the radar threats, the destroyer threat. Shimakaze is a detection threat. Udaloi is a potential gunboat threat, and Benson is pretty much a speed bump for me. As long as I don't eat torps or something of that magnitude from the Benson. It does have decent gun DPM, which, can wear me down, but, typically in a 1v1, a tier 9 destroyer should beat a tier 8 destroyer. So, talking about Jutland. Jutland, in my opinion, is one of the best, just like solo destroyer plays. You take this destroyer out, and you are playing for the ship itself. Your smokes are your smokes. Really the only teamwork that you're getting out of it is the spotting you're providing to the team, and your hydro is very good at protecting allies on your flank from torpedoes, just because it runs so goddamn long. Everything else about this ship is very well suited to, you know, being selfish. This is a destroyer that's going to save a lot of stars. You're going to be able to rack up a ton of DD damage. You're going to be able to contest caps. And really the only things you need to watch for is its slow speed. But its slow speed is also offset by the fact this thing handles much different than other destroyers, and it is actually a pain in the ass to try to hit one of these things that's really dodging. My game plan here is I'm just going to push right in. Not going to beat around the bush. Pop in hydro. I got a Udaloi that pops up. I take a shot, and I think I didn't lead that far enough. I did swap to AP because he was given broadside. Unfortunately, that didn't pan out. I've got my hydro up now. This typically isn't a move that you're going to be able to do with this destroyer. But I didn't have anybody that really popped up shooting at me. So I'm thinking that I might be able to peek just a little bit here, and I expect that I'm going to pick this Udaloi up because they'll typically go into the island and try to hug it. So now he isn't aware is that radar, hydro, whatever, until he sees my smoke. But at that point, it's too late. I've got AP loaded in. I mean, you can see the difference. I thought he would turn to angle. He didn't. I mean, even the HE is just wrecking this guy. And right there, I'm just free camming while I make sure that I dodge the torpedoes. Just try to keep the guns going. And I mean, the fire chance right there. I broke a bunch of shit on his boat, and then one of the last volleys set him on fire. These guns have a very high fire chance for destroyers. With as fast firing as they are, it's incredibly punishing. And I'm able to basically run down this Udaloi, and that's a tier 9 destroyer off the table where I didn't even take a point of damage. Picked up the cap. This is a huge advantage for my team, and this is how this ship is going to win battles and ranked. You are going to really get after those destroyers. Now, things you're going to have to watch out for, things like black. That radar and smoke combo, it's going to be a son of a bitch to deal with. The good news about that, your hydro pretty much completely neutralizes any black torpedoes. People, once they're spotted, they have virtually no chance at actually hitting ships unless somebody's dumb enough to think that, oh well, I can't. These are gonna run out, and they just eat them on their face. You know, one of the other ones is Chung Mu. Now, the interesting thing with this destroyer, you've got currently a heal, and that heal is going to allow you to play a little more aggressive than some of these other destroyers, because as long as you don't die in the initial fight, you can heal back up a significant chunk of HP, even if it's over the course of all three. You know, that's a, you know, a level of HP that other DDs, they don't get that back. You know, any sort of damage you cause to those guys is permanent. I think the only destroyer that does have a heal is the Tashkent, and you know, for obvious reasons, she is not going to play anything like this, like a Jutland on caps. Now I'm looking up here. I see the. I'm assuming this is the Benson smoking up the Cleveland. It's a really good, strong play. And smoked up radar cruiser. I'm not gonna go fuck with that. I mean, that's just asking to get wrecked. So instead, I'm just gonna kind of troll around here a bit, and just as I decided to smoke up and start going to work on this Azumo, I run into the Shimakaze. The Shima picks me up. This is one of the things that how this destroyer responds to situations with you know, just harassing the enemy. The general principle behind this ship is you have a lot of very short-term smokes. So what I like to do, you know how I don't know if you've heard people refer to it as herding, where you take a gunboat and you basically harass, you know, battleships or somebody all around the map, and you basically herd them away from you. You can herd them away from caps, out of position, just with the pressure that you're putting on their ship. You can do the same thing with this boat. You smoke up and you get, you know, this firepower going on these ships, and between, you know, the fire chance, the AP is crazy. Ships are going to pull out. They are going to try to get safe, and it is going to have the effect of forcing people away from your objectives. And this herding and corralling tactics with the pressure your guns provide is how you're predominantly going to handle cruisers and battleships. It's your torps are more for clearing out smokes, or the final desperation pushes where the enemy team has to go after caps because they're losing on points. They need to stop your points. They finally push in, and that's when your torps are waiting right there ready for them. Radar cruiser pops up. I'm already getting moving. You know, these smokes, they're not nearly as precious as a lot of other destroyer smokes, just because you have so many of them. I mean, you know, you got I think 6 base, 7 with superintendent. You know, you can throw away 1 or 2 smokes and you're all right. The cooldown on the smokes is so short that, I mean, 19 seconds from now, I've got smoke again. So at this point, I'm just open water gunboating. I'm using the ship's ability to turn, and when this thing turns, it doesn't really lose speed in its turn. Not like other destroyers do. So, you know, just slamming out the HE. Gonna use this island to disengage briefly, And if you notice, got a last minute fire on that Cleveland. And right there's another one. There's 2 fires on that Cleveland that that guy's really gonna struggle with doing anything about it. He doesn't have a heal, and he's just gonna tick a bit. And this is one of the situations I'm talking about. The enemy's gonna be pushing this corner. 10-kilometer torps, these are pretty good torps. They've got good concealment. The spread's pretty good. 10 kilometers of range is more than enough. You know, I like these torps. Plus, you can even single fire them. Personally, I don't single fire too often. But you can pull off some crazy torpedo spreads with these things in the single fire mode. So at this point, the enemy is not pushing in nearly as fast as I thought. I'm going to go try to sneak into B cap here. Pick up a torpit, 2 torpits on this Massachusetts. With flooding, he's going to flood a little bit. Looks like he's going to flood out. And up here I see the DDs. I'm just going to go pop Hydro, and I'm trying to support my Musashi. I know this guy's probably got torps on his way. You know, whatever I can do to kind of scout for the guy. Plus, by pushing into this island, I'm going to spot, you know, whatever's on the other side. Shima's smoke runs out. He's a really healthy Shimakaze. And, you know, this is what I'm here for. I'm here to punish these guys because we need these caps. So I'm going to push out here. I've got Hydro active, so he's going to have a hard time shooting at me. And going to just take a closer look at this engagement. I've got AP loaded. I don't want to shoot now because my AP is going to bounce. So I'm going to give him a few seconds to start turning and open up. And you can see the effect on the AP. I mean, that was a 4K volley. You know, just almost 4-shot the guy. The AP is absolutely disgusting. This is a Shimakaze that is incredibly difficult to punish with AP. The AP on these destroyers is goddamn god tier. So right now I'm looking at the Azumo, looking around, seeing, you know, where's my torpedo threats, and here comes this Benson. You know, he's dropping smoke, he's looking to pick a fight, and you know, this guy, he's doing a good job at angling here. Just not getting enough of him. He angles more, and I've actually got to go and switch. This Benson's doing a really good job. Looking at him, this guy's gun spec, and this is gun spec US destroyers pushing in here. I do get the kill. I had popped a last second heal to try to give me every little bit of HP I could to try to win that fight. But at this point, I have killed almost a full health tier 10 destroyer, a full health tier 9 Russian gunboat, and about a 3/4 health tier 8 US destroyer. I do get radared by this Salem, and I know that the shots are going to be coming. I'm going to try to get some torps off on this Azumo before I die. I see the Salem. I thought he was coming this way, and instead he played it cheeky, just backed up, and was able to put some shots in me. I wasn't really able to tell which way this guy was going anyway. I'm kind of frustrated with myself because the Azumo, I was spotted, you know, just slams on the brakes and avoids the torpedoes. And I'm frustrated with myself because we're going to lose this game. You look at my team's positioning, I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever at this point we're going to lose it. The only person playing for the objectives was myself, and by dying, even though I've removed all of the destroyers from the enemy team, My team just refuses to go near a cap. Um, Healthy Massachusetts, we're gonna, take a tour through enemy spawn. At least this Des Moines, he's low HP, but, why can't your Des Moines, be down in here? You don't need to take them on directly. You can use island cover. Hell, this island's amazing for firing over stuff. Cleveland, open water, 920 HP. What are you doing? What are you doing? He's doing nothing to the battleship. Probably doesn't even have IFHE. Blap. Well, there goes a tier 8 radar cruiser.
The enemy is about to win.
This game really set me off today. Just watching fucking dolts playing this game that have absolutely no idea what they should be doing to win. Look at this guy. Hey, let's go right between two battleships. What the hell could happen? Why in the hell you wouldn't, just cut into B? Why do you need to push directly in between two battleships? And this is the kind of crap that's why I'm doing this YouTube, because everything that my team is doing right now is crap. What the fuck is a full HP Bismarck just doing? Trolling along right through fucking cap, right through the enemy spawn. There ain't nothing up there. He's not gonna do anything from 15 kilometers to these battleships. What are you doing? Here we go, a tier 9 Iowa. Hey, let's get into a gunfight with a Salem and an Iowa. Who's he gonna shoot? He's gonna shoot the bow on Iowa. Well, because he's the closer target. Well, this dude's maybe 3 kilometers further from him. This Salem, kudos to this guy. He's gonna slip right in behind this island. He's just gonna farm the hell out of this Iowa. The enemy team here played their ass off. They lost their DDs to me. They were able to take me out, prevent me from capping, and just laughed as they just farmed my team. Look at this Iowa. I don't mean to call any of these players out specifically that they're bad players, but what are you thinking? What are you thinking right now? It's so depressing to see teams like that you go through, this level of effort, and then you see what the hell the rest of your team's been doing. And I know this is a ranked commentary and I got off on a little tangent, but I mean, you look at it. Almost 1700 base XP on a loss. And that in and of itself is going to tell you the kind of XP that you can look at when you're playing these ranked games, trying to secure bonuses for your team. You've got better concealment than a Fletcher. Fletcher, I'm kind of treating that as like the baseline for good detection. You're going to be really good at sneaking, these objectives. I do have some concerns with the slower speed. You're not going to be able just to speed to all of these objectives like some destroyers will be able to. But once you get to those objectives, you should have plenty of support, because you're not really outrunning cruisers and battleships, things like that. And once you get there, you'll have support, you'll be ready to fight, and you should be able to secure those objectives in a slower but methodical manner that will heavily punish the enemy team. I mean, as you can see, this destroyer, it does not lack for an ability to do damage. In my opinion, this destroyer is going to be one of the best at saving the stars, even on a better level than the Shimakaze, because you're also able to cap and farm damage, whereas I kind of see the Shimakaze as mainly farming damage. and not really capping until later in the game. So this this was my Jutland review slash a little rant there. Sorry about that. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments below. I hope you're having a good night, and I will talk to you later.